So what's going on, people? It's the Witch Doctor, and I have to admit, guys, I was extremely moved by a lot of your comments in the who was your favorite starter Pokemon, and the reasons behind a lot of you guys picking said Pokemon or why this starter was your favorite. It moved me. I was actually very moved, and it was. It brought back a lot of memories. Let me just put it that way. It really brought back a lot of my childhood because the thing that surprised me too was a lot of you guys started with Gen 4, and I have no problems at all with Gen 4. I actually really like Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Those series was actually very nice. I like them a lot. And then thinking back to when I started, it was crazy because I see how some of you guys started with Gen 4, and I started with Pokemon Yellow. Now, you could say that Pikachu is technically my first starter, but I don't think of it that way because I bought a pre-owned Yellow, and as a kid I didn't really care about that too much, so I played it. And then it was later on when I got Pokemon Blue is where I started off with Bulbasaur, and it was something else because I loved Bulbasaur so much in the anime, and just seeing Bulbasaur was always like the coolest thing. That's what I look forward to every episode. Was like, oh, I got to see Bulbasaur. Yeah, he looks so cool. And I've always loved Bulbasaur's entire line. I loved Ivysaur and I love Venusaur, and to this day it is still my favorite starter line. So what I want to talk to you guys about today was my journey with Bulbasaur and all that other stuff, because I wanted to make a video about this once I saw your guys' comments, and seeing a lot of you comment about like your Turtwig or Piplup or Chimchar, and a lot of the Turtwig comments too kind of got me because Bulbasaur back then was also the underdog, and so was Turtwig during Gen 4, and Turtwig was not the first one I picked in Gen 4. It was actually Chimchar. But Turtwig was something else. I always loved Torterra. Torterra was so awesome. And I get you guys. I know what you're coming from. I know where you're getting that underdog feeling from. I understand. But I was around, how old was I? 8 or 9 when I had Blue. And like I said, I'm not really counting Yellow. But I had a Bulbasaur, and that was my starter Pokemon. And I caught a lot of other cool things along the way too. Like I tried getting my favorites. So I really liked Cubone a lot back then too. So Cubone was a must on my team. I had a Cubone. For some reason I didn't evolve it. I don't know why. I didn't evolve the Cubone, but I always loved Cubone. So I had a Cubone and I had my Bulbasaur, and those two were like inseparable for me. Like I always had them. And then not only that, I had Sandslash. Sandslash was one of my favorites too back then. Like I loved Sandslash so much. So my team literally was made up of all my favorite Pokemon. I don't really remember who else is on my team. Yeah, I really don't remember the rest of them. I know I had a Haunter, I'm pretty sure, but I don't remember that much. But I remember the Bulbasaur, the Cubone, and the Sandslash. I evolved Bulbasaur all the way through. Cubone I didn't for some reason, and I had the Sandshrew or the Sandslash, so it's something. So I'm digressing. My whole point of this was that when I started off with Bulbasaur, I really don't know how to describe the feeling. It's only a feeling that you can describe as a child, and it was the joy, the excitement I had with Bulbasaur that I not regret, but am sad that I'll never have that feeling again, because I know that that's something only you would have as a child, and it's just those moments as a kid that you will never get back. And it's like how these kids nowadays say that. I sound old for saying that, I really do, but it's the truth. When kids now say I can't wait to be grown up and other stuff like that, I have to disagree. Adulthood has been something, it's not easy. It has some of its rewarding perks, but definitely not easy. it's definitely something that I'd be like, fuck, I can't believe I gotta do this now and stuff like that. And then back then as a kid, is you didn't have any. It was super carefree, and Bulbasaur was what represented that for me. It represented everything being carefree in life. He represented my happy moments that I've had, because even back then I didn't really have friends, but Bulbasaur meant everything to me. Like, I know I have a hard time picking between. I know Sharpedo is my favorite Pokemon. Second is like Houndoom, but like Bulbasaur is definitely third. He's third because of those reasons back then when I was a kid, because I feel as if every time that I get to a point in life where I'm down, I usually play like the old Sonic games, because Sonic the Hedgehog was a really big part of my childhood, along with Pokemon and Godzilla. Those three things were me back then. But Bulbasaur to me represented my childhood, as my child self, I guess, as its happiness and the joy I had as a child was represented with Bulbasaur. Because every time I see Bulbasaur, I always get the memories back of, man, I did this as a kid. I was playing with my friends these days, like the few friends that I had, like I did this that day at the park and stuff like that. It was insane, and every time I look back at it, the best way I can remember everything is just picturing Bulbasaur, because during that time I would play Pokemon a lot and had a Bulbasaur on every single one of my teams, no matter what. Bulbasaur was always there. And there's even times where I didn't even evolve the Bulbasaur. It got to the point where like I just want to keep it as a Bulbasaur, and that's what it was. It was just pure Bulbasaur. And I want you guys to remember that you shouldn't let go of the past, or you shouldn't let people tell you what to do, because that's not what I meant, like not tell you what to do, but if someone criticizes you for playing Pokemon or doing things that it seemed to be a child, don't let those people get to you. I was ridiculed that a lot, like that a lot, and I didn't care, because the game meant this to me, that's what Bulbasaur meant to me and stuff like that, so I didn't care what they said. If being a child means playing these games and stuff like that, and wouldn't that make them a child as well, for pointing at you, calling you names and stuff like that? Because remember guys, when you point the finger, again, 3 fingers point back at yourself. People like that should not dictate what you do in your life. Again, this video is just telling you guys a little bit about what Bulbasaur meant to me, what my first starter was to me, and everything. So don't let go of that, guys. Do not let go of that. Darkness.